Hi, Assalamualaikum to Madam Nuriza Omar, or known as Mama. So today we are from Group 3. We present a topic which is sustainable product. So for the introduction, this research is to evaluate the clay bricks combination of RHA and SBA with various proportion. It is useful for conservation of natural resources, creation of cost-effective and long-lasting structures.
Next methodology, RHA and SBA will manually mix with clay in various proportions and then prepare the mixture by adding the water and allow it to stand for 3 hours to achieve homogeneity. And then to prepare the bricks, molds were filled with clay lumps and then sun-dried the bricks for 10 days before being fired in making for 36 hours at approximately 800 degrees Celsius. And then lastly, brick specimens were removed from the kiln after 45.
So for the result and discussion, the main chemical component is silica. The minor chemical component are alumina, calcium oxide, magnesium oxide and iron oxide. SBA have the highest loss of ignition, LOI, compared to clay and RHA. So for the particle size distribution, the sand and silt are the major amount of particle content, and clay has the highest specific gravity, which is compared to RHA and SBA. So for X-ray diffraction SRD for clay, the major mineral present is quartz, while the minor mineral amount are cinnabar, halite, corundum, hematite, calcite and fluorite. So next for RHA, the major mineral present is quartz, while the minor mineral are hematite, calcite and fluorite. And lastly for SBA, the major mineral present is quartz, while the minor mineral are halite, corundum, hematite, calcite, bornite and fluorite. So next for mechanical and durability properties. So for the first one is weight per unit area. Combination of RHA and SBA will produce lower unit weights than clay. Lightweight bricks are extremely useful in earthquake-prone location and can also save money by lowering transportation costs. So for the second is compressive strength. The strength of burnt clay bricks reduced after incorporating RHA and SBA. The major cause of strength loss is increase in porosity. The bricks with addition of 5% SBA and RHA still fulfill the minimum requirement of Building Code of Pakistan 2007. So for the next is modulus of fracture. The addition of SBA and RHA result in the reduction of modulus of fracture. The major cause of strength loss was increased porosity with waste, still fulfill the limit according to ASTM C97. So for the fourth is apparent porosity. The porosity increased when both waste being added. The main reason of porosity increasing are due to change in size and number of pores. Brick have good thermal properties because of higher porosity due to lighter. So for the fifth is water absorption. The water absorption increased when SBA and RHA been added. RHA result in lesser absorption than SBA, and absorption of water less than 22% still can be used according to ASTM C62. So for the sixth is initial rate of absorption. The addition of SBA will result in higher IRA than addition of RHA, and it is related to porosity. The brick should be wetted before necessary work so that it will bond properly with mortar according to ASTM C62. So for the last one is efflorescence. No efflorescence was shot on bricks with addition of SBA and RHA as both rich in silica. The efflorescence is affected by the amount of calcium oxide. So how the research contribute to sustainable product development? With the inclusion of RHA and SBA, the lighter bricks may be made, and lighter bricks are less expensive to build with and result in long-term building. Then it can be used effectively in high weathering resistant environment, and lastly, it will be utilized effectively for building, resulting in long-lasting structures.
Such that the research in my opinion was able to achieve its goal of developing new construction material by utilizing these products such as RHA and SBA in construction. This is due to the fact that disposing of this waste material is a difficult task that has also become a hazard to the environment. So as a result, using this waste will aid in the conservation of the natural resources, while also allowing for more cost-effective and then long-term construction. And then in my opinion, there was no knowledge gaps that remain unsolved in this study because it makes its goal when the clay bricks can be produced by the addition of the two agriculture waste materials, which were SBA and RHA.
So for the conclusion, in a nutshell, sustainable construction can be achieved by the utilization of agricultural waste, RHA and SBA. Lighter bricks can be made of RHA and SBA and more cost-effective during construction. Compressive and fracture strength were reduced in but still satisfied the minimum requirement according to Building Code of Pakistan. Next, for fracture strength, all the bricks fulfill the ASTM C97 requirements. According to water absorption results, burnt clay bricks with 5% waste addition can be used in moderate weather. The efflorescence result were likewise positive. According to the findings, bricks containing up to 5% RHA and SBA can be used efficiently for construction, resulting in long-term construction. We will recommend researchers to further research on more waste material that can be used in making of bricks. The researchers can utilize waste glass as it reduces the temperature of firing process and also improve the physical mechanical properties of burnt clay bricks.
Furthermore, we would like to recommend Copco Mine Tailings for further work to produce eco-friendly bricks based on the geopolymerization technology to meet the American Society testing material requirements.
Next, brick made with paper and PET bottles. Introduction. The objective of this research is to produce a paper brick with the most abundantly available waste materials such as paper and PET bottles. The material that will be used for the production of these paper bricks are the combination of waste paper and Portland cement by taking the ratio of 8:2. This research are strongly supported for the safe, environmentally sustainable and cost-effective management of waste paper as a construction material for the underprivileged.
And then next, the methodology of this research is, firstly, waste paper is shredded into small pieces of papers. The shredded paper is then soaked into water and was cut into smaller chunks. And then these chunks have been converted into granules and also have been mixed with Portland cement slurry to 8:2 proportions of paper cement ratio respectively. And then the prepared mix is poured into a mold made of plywood. The size of the plywood is 200 length, 200 millimeter of length, and then 100 millimeter of width and 100 millimeter of height. The mixture is left for 24 hours, and then the hardened brick is removed from the mold and made to undergo various standard tests needed.
Next, result and discussion. Absorption, compression, and fire resistance tests with compressor, water tank, and electrical oven are used to calculate developer brick strength. For absorption test, to determine the materials of water absorption, a water absorption test was performed on the paper block. The dry weight on the paper brick was recorded as 1.601 kg as W1, and the paper brick was submerged in the water for 24 hours to absorb the water. After 24 hours, the paper block was removed, the surplus water was drained, and the weight was recorded as 2.156 kg, which is W2. So this is the formula for water absorption. The percentage of water absorbed was 34.6%, and this is the figure 3, figure 4, and figure 5 show example diagrams for from absorption tests that were conducted.
And then the second test is compression test. The objective of the compression test is to determine the load carrying capacity under compression. Based on this compression test of this research, the result shows that the brick sample was able to take load of 500 kg of compressive load. And then the third test is fire resistance test. The sample was made to be examined for fire resistance by heating the sample in an electrical oven at a temperature of 150 degrees Celsius for 4 hours. And then the result shows that the physical state of the brick sample was good and sound without any deformation and failure to fire test in the period of 4 hours.
How the research contribute to sustainable product development. Paper bricks are ecologically beneficial even though they are made from recyclable materials. Utilizing paper bricks instead of traditional firewood decrease the amount of strain put on the forest and reduce the amount of wood that is blown down. Water and soil are contaminated as a result of this. 1 ton of paper recycled might even save up to 17 trees and 26,500 gallons of water. Next, by including waste, the final production has a weak heat conductivity and perform as an excellent insulator. Low thermal conductivity help decrease power consumption by minimizing temperature distribution in and out of the house, improving material capacity and operating expenses. Furthermore, the organic material component of bricks are provide energy, which might significantly decrease gas consumption and kill time needed for brick manufacturing. This approach might save energy and raw materials for brick companies, as well as provide environmental advantages through the reuse of previously discarded waste.
And then lastly, brick is one of the most used building materials and it has a substantial impact on the construction expenses of low-income housing. Paper bricks, which are made from paper, Portland cement, and polyethylene terephthalate bottles, are abundant in urban areas with a high level of construction activities. The objective of this research is to come up with the cost-effective alternative to conventional building material. The results of the experimental shows that the objective of this research is a success because there is a high potential for producing low-cost alternative building materials, especially for bricks.
What would you recommend for further work? You come up with new ideas or innovation. In the future, Malaysia should construct a structure out of plastic bottle bricks and clay mix. This is due to the fact that plastic bottles are the most common source of garbage. Furthermore, this approach can help protect the environment as well as being a very cost-effective option.
Besides that, we will also like to recommend to analyze and use other waste materials such as compost aside from paper and PET bottle for higher quality of bricks. That's all from us for this presentation. Thank you.